Hello, and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Sports. My name is Michael Rasile. This is the show where we get to talk about sports, we get to talk about business, and we get to talk about everything in between. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, you know exactly what to do. 5-star review on Spotify, like and subscribe over on YouTube. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, give me a 5-star review and write something really nice about me and my incredible guest. Today I have Trevor Farnes. He's the CEO of MNT OPS with a designation in Operation Conquer Hunger. I don't know. I kind of came up with that on the fly. How you doing today, Trevor?
That's good. Doing wonderful. Thanks for having me on. This is a privilege.
Oh, please, Trevor. Privilege is all mine. I get to do the thing that I love the most. You're letting me ask you a bunch of questions here for the next 30 minutes, let's call it. Trevor, I'm excited to talk about MNT OPS, what you guys do, why you do it, who you're helping, why you're helping them, Operation Conquer Hunger as well. We'll get into that, of course, and how important that is to you. But the first question I have for everybody on the For the Love of Sports podcast is, why do you love sports so much?
Oh, man. I've been playing a lot of different sports from the time I can remember running, but soccer has been my sport. Soccer and then outdoor sports like skiing, biking. But I just love being active. I love using the body that God's given me to go out and enjoy, and I love competition and friendly competition, intense competition, all of the above, you know? So it's just great.
There's nothing like competition, man. Gets the blood flowing, gets everyone excited, the thrill of victory,
100%.
The agony of defeat, if I'm not mistaken. There's nothing like it, and I think it's always something fun. Business and sports, right?
Yeah, so much to learn.
Business.
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Yep. Especially, again, business and sports, right? This is the podcast. This is what we do. This is why we do it over here. So talk to me a little bit, man. You're the CEO of MNT OPS. If you haven't heard, MNT OPS does some incredible stuff. I've listened to some Joe Rogan episodes, and they just casually bring you guys up. So there you go, free 20 million people you get to get rid of, right? So talk to me a little bit about what MNT OPS is, what you guys do, and why you do it.
Yeah, we founded MNT OPS in 2014, and it's an energy and nutrition supplement company, and we focus in the outdoors. So the OPS stands for Outdoor Performance Supplements. So those are the categories you'll find us in. And, you know, prior to MNT OPS, I started another business selling products through the medical industry and was creating products for heart health. And that's kind of why I got into supplementation and what helped me create these products to help individuals with blood flow, circulation, that type of thing. And then we found that there was a huge hunter athlete movement in 2014 with brands like Under Armour, Yeti, Sitka, but there wasn't a product like ours that I had created for these doctors' offices. And so I partnered with a couple guys who really knew how to approach the hunting audience of this hunter athlete. And we were off to the races with an incredible brand that resonated well with the hunting community, and with a product that we had a history of about 5 years of really seeing it work through doctors' offices. So there was some credibility around the products we had created, and now putting them to use on the mountain for a sport that people definitely see it as their sport, you know, going out onto the mountain and spending time suffering and grueling out some pretty arduous climbs and feats. And, you know, that's what mountain is all about. We feel like we are to conquer the mountains in life, and whether that's physical or within athletics or whatever it is that we face, that's the mountainside of MNT OPS. And we provide products that help us conquer the mountain.
I respect the hell out of that, man. I think that, you know, hunters, fishing, I mean, I like fishing. Everybody, you know, if you don't like fishing, you don't like drinking beer. So, you know, that's to each his own. But in terms of hunting, like I've always told my friends, you know, I grew up in a family. My dad used to go hunting when he was young. His grandfather used to take him out, that whole thing. And to me, man, I don't want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's like, I would love to go. I would love to, you know, have that ability and say, yes, I can eat what I kill. I think that's really important, and more humans need to do that, right? It's very easy to go to the grocery store and just buy some chicken breasts or buy some beef, but like, you don't know how it got there, how it did it. I think that would be a really cool experience, but 0% of me wants to get up that early in the morning.
And
I just can't do
honestly, like when I started hunting, that was the one thing I was like, oh, I didn't want to get up either. And it's one of those things that maybe eliminates those that aren't going to put in the time, aren't going to put in the effort. And so you find yourself out on the mountain. And what I have found, there's a movie a long time ago came out. I don't know if it was the 80s or 90s, While You Were Sleeping. I always think not of that movie, but I think of that saying while I'm out there, while you're sleeping, I'm right here. I'm witnessing some incredible things. I'm seeing the earth come to life. I'm seeing animals moving. And so often I'm like, man, why do I not wake up more often to see this? I don't need to be hunting. But when I'm out there hunting, it's one of those times where I'm anxious and I'm excited to get up because I really haven't slept all night knowing what I'm about to go do. There's very few things in life that like make you want to get up that early in the morning and go out and suffer on a mountain. You're either freezing cold or you're hiking your tail off, and you're doing it because of this passion that's within you, and that's it's an incredible opportunity to kind of get out when everyone else is sleeping and experience life in a different way.
I love that thought. I 100% agree with that while you were sleeping, right? Like I don't quite take it to the max, like it sounds like you do, but like in the morning, like I have a checkbox, or I have check boxes, and I try and get as many of those things done before 9 o'clock in the morning, because I know when the rest of, the East Coast is getting up and they're just rubbing their eyes and starting to sip on their coffee, I've also already, did a workout. I already did this. I already did that.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's a nice feeling. So I completely understand what you're saying. And on top of that, like, that was one of the things that all of my friends have told me, like being in a tree stand while the sun is coming up, they're like the serenity of it, the peacefulness, and seeing and starting to see things move while you're kind of not quite delirious, but you're kind of a little out of it because you just, as you said, you hiked so far, you only have been asleep for a couple hours that night. That they've said there's nothing like that feeling, especially if it's not too cold out, that they can't get enough of it.
And that's where our products come in so handy, is like our main sellers are energy products. So when you wake up, and it's one of those, most hunters only hunt 7 to 10 days a year. So they're willing to sacrifice a little bit more for those 7 to 10 days, but get up and drink a cup of Ignite and then go and enjoy it even more fully, because you're using our product, you're awake. And that's where our product comes in really handy out in the field.
So I'm curious. So as you said, like you were selling to doctors' offices, you have these science backed, these very technical pieces of energy products, supplements, whatever. I'll use your words. What was it about the hunting community that you said, I believe that me and, as you said, a couple of your buddies, we can come together and we can build a very specific brand that is targeting these people that, again, only might want to use the product 7 to 10 times a year? Like, what was it about that community that drew you in to want to do that?
Yeah. Well, what we did find is that not only would they use it the 7 to 10 days a year, but we found a community that would use it every other day of the year.
Look at that. So, that worked out.
We're cutting out a little bit here.
Oh, no. Keep going. You got it.
We good, Michael?
Yep. Perfect. I got you. You don't got me?
Now I do. I can see me. Oh, you disappeared now. But if you can hear me, I can keep going.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So in 2010, started another business, and I had just come off of a series of business failures. And so we were struggling. And that's kind of why we do Operation Conquer Hunger, because we gained some perspective as a family, understanding the need that there is out there for hunger, to help conquer hunger. And I'll get into that in a bit. But I'm a very mission-driven individual, and so what I found with the first product I created was that it was a product that could benefit my family's life. My dad had 2 stents put in his heart, couldn't feel his fingers and toes, and I needed to create a product that increased blood flow for a prolonged period of time. And so by reading a book by Dr. Luis Ignarro with a lot of science, typically not a book I would read. It's not my, I don't dive into the sciencey stuff a whole lot especially at that time of my life. But I knew there was something from this book that I could help my dad with, and that's when we created the concoction, which was it's now our Enduro product in Mountain Ops, one of our top-selling products. And we put my dad on it, and he could feel his fingers and toes again within a few days. Not completely, but the sensation started coming back. So I knew I was onto something. And because of the way we created it, it was a prolonged production of nitric oxide, allowing him to increase that blood flow for a period of time that was more beneficial than other products. And what we found a few years later was that this heart benefit that was helping people with blood pressure, neuropathy, endurance, and that type of thing, it could be used on the mountain with hunters who are putting in long hours and long time out on the mountain, very arduous activity. But I didn't have these products, and I was like, okay, we're going hunting. I actually met with these guys that I partnered with and needed some help on that business within our marketing and design and everything. And through those conversations, I found most of their marketing they were doing through the hunting and outdoor industry. And so I just asked them, is there a place for products like these within the hunt? And they just kind of lit up, and they said, yes, there's a huge movement right now with a lot of the major influencers within hunting that are athletes as well. and people are following them. They're inspiring people to get off the couch. They're inspiring them to train inside, to be able to conquer outside. And we took that and we ran. And so really coming together with those partners was crucial. They understood the hunt. I understood the product and the benefit that could come from it. But now I found this passionate group of individuals, almost this cultish following of people that love hunting. Like I said, 7 to 10 days a year, but they're eating about it, dreaming about it, talking about it, sleeping about it the rest of the time. And what Mountain Ops can do for them throughout the year is activate that passion of the hunt within them every single day that they take our product. And so they don't have to be out on the mountain to enjoy the passion of theirs with our product. It really is an everyday thing, and helping them prepare to do what they love doing in a more meaningful way, healthier way. Just overall wellness is what we try to create, so they can go out on the mountain and conquer more, or just in their everyday life, they can conquer more. A lot of our audiences, blue collar workers, they're working long hours each day, and those benefits that are long lasting, this very smooth energy, they help them throughout the day in their everyday job, at home as fathers, mothers, wives and husbands, and then they're going out on the mountain and they need that extra support. So
I love that, man. That is that is a great story to tell, right? And I think it's so important for people to understand the opportunity that comes with your type of product, right? Like the opportunity to understand a little bit more and be a part and be there and be present, not just on those 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 sounds so small, but then I guess when you take into account like the seasons and when you can go and who, that whole thing, I guess it kind of does make sense. And if there's a way to stay within that community, as you said, they're eating, they're sleeping, they're being about it every single day. If there's a way to stay within that, how have you guys found Mountain Ops specifically? How have you been able to, I guess, cultivate the relationship? Because it seems like such a community focus, right? What are you guys doing to make sure that you're cultivating those relationships, as you said, this cult-ish following, to make sure that your users know that you're really a part of their life every single day, whether they're on the mountain or not?
Yeah, that's been the most critical piece of bringing this all together, to be honest. We believe you can connect and conquer. And so the connections that we've formed through the community we've built has been everything. And we came into this building it not with a lot of funding. We bootstrapped it. So the best way to do it was to go out and to build connections in the community, going out to events, seeding product, being where they were in any event and any aspect that we could be, just to get in front of them. Our product is so good. It tastes so good and feels so good. So once we can get them to try it, it's like there's this immediate, okay, I see what you guys are doing. This is awesome. Tell me a little bit more about you. But we also, my partners, they're just great branding experts. And so we didn't come out and say hunting nutrition, hunting supplements. It's Mountain Ops. It's a brand that people want to wear. It's a really cool aspirational lifestyle brand. And so we sell a lot of shirts and hats that they wear. And sometimes that's their first approach to connecting with us. They'll buy a shirt or a hat and they'll see it. They'll feel it. They're like, okay, this is cool. I like wearing it. I'm a part of this community now. And then they dive into, okay, maybe they can help me with my weight loss. So they'll hire us for that. Or maybe they can help me gain strength. They'll hire us for that. I need energy. They hire us for that. But a lot of times they come in through just like this shirt and this hat is really cool. I want to be a part of this awesome community. And it's open to everyone. We've made it a very family-friendly environment so that the content we put out, my kids can be proud of their father for everything that he does and who he's working with, and the messages that we're sharing. We always want it to be that way. We're very much about family and community. And we've kind of broken down our barriers. We've let people into our lives. So we've let them see who we are. We take a camera on every hunt we go on. We take a camera on different activities and events with our ambassadors so people can kind of get a glimpse into who we are. And then we have a set of core values that they are our guardrails. We follow them as best as we can. We're not perfect, but we strive to follow those in making our decisions. And living those core values has created a trusting connection with our consumer, unlike anything else. We've done some big research studies comparing us to other brands in the industry and outside of the industry within sports nutrition and such. And we come back with a very high score when it comes to a brand people can trust, because they see the actions that we take, living what we preach and not just preaching it. So and we work with some incredible ambassadors that have awesome connections into the industry and different partnerships in the industry that have allowed us to foster relationships that are long term, that are beneficial for both parties, and that's how we've built community. We've just been genuine and authentic to who we are, And, and we feel like that's the way to be, to build trusting and long lasting relationships.
Authenticity always wins. Word of mouth marketing is always the best, right? Like, this is stuff we learned, a marketing 101. When I was at Rutgers there for a second.
It works.
It always works, man. I'm a digital marketer at heart. That is what I do for a job. But if anyone ever tells you that word of mouth marketing is not the best marketing, they're lying to you. I will tell you, and I'll tell everybody that. And I think it's awesome that you guys have been able to realize that the ability to foster a relationship, that's the spider work, that's the network, right? Like if one person tells another, and now everyone wants to wear your shirts and your hats. They want to be a part of the gym. They want to see the content that you guys are creating. And I think it's so interesting. And one thing, man, like if I see the CEO of a company that talks about hunting out on a hunt, using his own products, showing me how great they are, yeah, that's authenticity. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's many CEOs of companies that don't really speak directly to their audience because they're more of a business person. There's nothing wrong with that. But to see someone like yourself go out there, A, that's got to be cool. B, as someone a part of the community, seeing you with one of my favorite brand ambassadors or influencers, it's a win-win, man. Who loses in that situation?
Yeah, and it's interesting you brought that up because when we started Mountain Ops, I didn't hunt. And so I was much more behind the scenes. My partners did hunt. It was their life. It was their passion. But I got great satisfaction out of fueling the hunt of others. But within the first year, I was like, I need to understand this passion that I'm fueling. And I dove headfirst in, and it became a passion that I understood why the products worked so well in the field. I understood why the brand resonated so well with this lifestyle and the connection that people have with each other when they're out on these hunts. And for me, it was like, if I was going to do this, I was going to bring my family along as well. So I became the pioneer of hunting in my family. And I've brought my wife, and I brought my daughters and my son. I've got 4 kids. And not only them, but then my father at the age of 76 and my mother at the age of 75 went on their first hunts, brothers. I've tried to get as many people and others in Mountain Ops that haven't hunted. Like I've tried to educate new hunters on what I've experienced from a conservation standpoint. For me, right off the gates, it was a way to feed my family. And I had struggled to feed my family for a number of years through all these business losses. And so I found this unique way that I could go out and I was providing in a very awesome way. And so that was like tip of the iceberg for me. I was super excited. But then what it became for me was a relationship build, a way to connect. And for me, we're a faith-based organization. It was a way for me to get out and just be undistracted from business and things of the world, and I could connect with God, his creations, but then bringing my family and other friends and everything around without those distractions, with no cell phone service, we can connect in a unique and incredible way. And that became the most important thing for me when it comes to hunting. In fact, my father, when he was on his first hunt, it was an antelope hunt at the end of it, and he had a successful hunt, but he said, I haven't fallen in love with hunting, but I have fallen in love with what hunting can do for relationships. And I've fallen in love with hunting, and I've got a passion for it. And I've traveled around the world now doing it with incredible people. But I also, I understand what my father says, what it does for relationships is incredible. So
I absolutely can understand that. Again, I've never been, but I've only heard good things when husbands and wives go out. And, the husband's good friends of mine, she got her first deer, and then they got to eat it. And it was like it was an experience, right? It was something to do. And now she can understand why he wants to go out every Saturday at 4:00 in the morning because of what what that experience is like. And then, as you said, with the other people, it's, maybe you don't fall in love with it, but you fall in love with what it can do for those relationships because, no cell phones, waking up early. One thing misery loves, company a little bit, right? Not to say you're miserable, but it's one of those things. You're up that early in the morning. You're doing all those, the grueling tasks to get to the end, which is the fun part, right? And, the opportunity that comes with that. And when people are there together, in it together, there's nothing like it.
And there is some misery, but that's what we promote here is like, hey, there's no progress without that pain, And so get out, climb the mountain, sit in the seat, be cold, whatever it is. That at the end of the day, there's so much purpose and fulfillment around conquering whatever it was that you were facing that day. And so that misery becomes part of the journey. And then when you've conquered it, whether there's an animal harvest or not, you face some serious struggles or challenges. And that's what Mountain Ops is all about, helping people realize in life is that we were built to conquer more.
I love that, man. And so talk to me a little bit. We've discussed kind of the brand ambassadors. I've seen some of the content that you guys have put out with some of the incredible people. How do you guys go about finding brand ambassadors, influencers, whatever words we want to use, to be a part of this community at an elevated level in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, and we've got a tiered approach to our ambassador program at 1, 2, and 3, and a tier 1 ambassador would be somebody like a Cam Hanes, who a lot of people know. He is the ultimate hunter, backcountry bow hunter that you can look to in our industry. He's been with us for several years now, almost from the beginning. And so there's been an awesome relationship there, but he's the type of guy you might find running a marathon almost every single day as well, and shooting his bow, working in the gym, and then he's out on these hunts, and he's very successful because of the time and attention and the effort that he puts into it. But we form these relationships very genuinely and authentically. We want them to believe in the product, for sure. We want them to see the benefit that it can offer people and the opportunity. Our mission at Mountain Ops is that in everything we do, we improve the lives of individuals and families. And we need our ambassadors to buy into that who we are, what we're about, the products we sell actually do that for people. And we want them to believe in that. So if somebody new came to me today, I'd give them some product and I'd say, use this, let's see how it works. But also go to our website, check out our core values, see if you can align, because there's nothing worse in life than trying to fit into a value set that doesn't match, And we're unapologetic with the core values that we live and we stand by. And every month here at Mountain Ops, we focus on a core value, training on it, living it, utilizing it out in the industry. And so we want those that are going to represent us as ambassadors to be an extension of the team, understand what we're all about, who we are serving and why we're serving them, and the good that comes from it as well. And so that's kind of the approach we take with a lot of our ambassadors is, are you in a mode in life of conquering more and inspiring others to conquer more, to improve their lives, to help them through a transformation that they may be going through? And that could be physical, spiritual, mental, social, whatever it is. We're all facing different mountains each day, and once we get to the top of one, what we find is another. It's how life goes. And that doesn't mean that life has to be it's bad or anything. That we feel like Mountain Ops is a vehicle to help us enjoy the journey of climbing those mountains and building strength in many realms of life. So we look for that in our ambassadors. Can they represent the brand? Do they represent the core values and the mission? Can they attach themselves to it? And then if it's genuine and authentic, then we talk terms and we talk, details that go into that. And it's incredible to see the relationships that we've had for so many years now, and then new market segments that we're going into and how exciting it is for people. I was just last week with Dale Brisby down in Texas. He's a new ambassador of ours. He was just on the Cam Hanes podcast. He's a cowboy comedian, and these cowboys are athletes. And so we actually were down there. We were pushing cattle. Our CMO got on a bull. He could barely walk the next day, but these guys, they work out in a different way. They have a different challenge and different physical mentality, so it's fun to get to know these different channels that we're going after and how they approach fitness or physical wellness, and we get to be a part of that and utilizing our products to fuel whatever their passion is. But we've got incredible ambassadors across the board, runners, bikers, but when it comes down to it, like a lot of them, their sport is the hunt and it is the outdoors. So
I love the way you put it prior, as you said, and I apologize if I'm mixing up words a little bit, but are you looking to climb your mountains? Are you inspiring others to climb theirs? And I think that's such an awesome way to look for ambassadors and understand the people that you want to have in your corner, because you're right. Like, we want people that are really trying to do things, as you said, that connect with your core values as a company, to make sure that not only are you trying to be your best, but it's not a one-to-one. It's you are then trying to inspire many others to be their best, because that is how this world gets better. Everybody 100%. Tries to inspire everybody else to become better. I love it. Yeah.
We always say here, they rise highest who lift as they go. And so we want our team and we want our ambassadors to be lifting along the way and inspiring that way. The supplement industry as a whole is very fragmented, not a lot of loyalty, very saturated. But what we've found is we've been able to connect in a very unique way. And a lot of times it's through service and finding out what others need, and you provide that need, but you provide it in a genuine, unique way, and you build a connection and a relationship. and then it lasts longer that way. And so thankfully for many ambassadors that we have, they've just been a duplication of who we are from a core value standpoint, from a mission standpoint, but then they just bring this incredible talent and this incredible way to connect with their own people because of the things that they're out and doing every single day to inspire others to live in this incredible conquer more mentality. I'm inspired by them. We've got, Cam Haynes, his son, Truett Haynes, is here within the walls of Mountain Ops. He's on our marketing team. He's been here, I think, for just over 3 years now. That guy, I mean, I think it runs in the Haynes genes. Just he's an inspiration, and so we've got a lot of that even within the walls of Mountain Ops. Truett and others that are just inspiring individuals. They're here conquering every morning. We've got a gym here in the building, and people are putting in the time, sweat, the tears, everything from a physical, spiritual, mental, and social standpoint. That is our Conquer More challenge that we give to each other every month, is to focus in those quadrants. And we've got people just living the brand from the inside out, for sure.
I love that, man. Having someone like that, Truett specifically, within, as you said, within the four walls of the company, it speaks volumes about what you guys do and how much people love your brand so much they want to work for you, right? Like, that does not, like, that is true brand loyalty. That is truly getting people involved, and not only getting people involved, but you being involved in their lives as well, which I think is awesome. So kudos and congratulations on everything you guys have built. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been a blessing, and I'm grateful to have been part of the founding of this. One of the greatest things that I have heard from certain employees is that this is their brand, and that's what I'd want them to feel, like they take ownership of what this is all about, because they've been through their own transformation. They have seen what the brand and the product can do for them, and then once you can sink your teeth into a mission like that, there's no stopping you, So we've got an incredible team, and this morning I likened our team to a soccer team. I was meeting with one of our new teammates, and I've coached soccer, and I've taught the boys a lot of times, if you can understand your positions, we can let the ball do the hard work, but we've got to trust in each other. But we can only do that once the person in this position knows who he is and why he's on the team and why that position is valuable. And then we can trust to move the ball up the field, and the ultimate goal, putting it in the back of the net. And it's no different than, in a company here, everyone playing their part, but understanding their role and understanding that every role is super valuable and leads to the mission and the completion of that mission in the life of an individual. It's unlike anything else. It's such an incredible asset to have a business like this that helps fulfill, personal missions in life, to take care of individuals and see them grow.
You're on the right side of history. I'll give you that, Trevor. And great analogy too. That was no wonder you're the CEO. It completely makes sense. But no, man, this has been so much fun. I really do appreciate it. Last thing I do want to talk about is Operation Conquer Hunger. I know this is a very specific, very passionate piece of what you do with the Mountain Ops team. I'm gonna put a video in the description for everyone. Trevor has an awesome video of his story, what he's done, and what it meant to start this program. But if you don't mind giving us, I guess, a SparkNotes 30-second version of that videos, and then we can kind of just have a little conversation off the back of that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love a quote that says, "You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were." And me and my family, we were once the people that were receiving food assistance. And it wasn't long ago, 10 to 15 years ago, we were receiving help from individuals because of the business failures we were in. My wife and I looked at, honestly, being a faith-based family and business, we looked at the stories of Jesus when he multiplied a few loaves and a few fishes for the masses. And we weren't trying to multiply them for the masses, but we thought as soon as we have a few resources, a few loaves and fishes to work with, we're going to try to multiply them in some way, shape, or form. And so with every order that comes through Mountain Ops, we found an incredible way to donate a meal to a child or a family in need. We're in the hunting industry. We bring home food for our family. We're in the nutrition industry. We've got nutritional supplements, but there are families and there are children who can't even fathom more than one meal a day. And they're in our communities, and that was my family. So I understand what that is to live that way. I understand what it is to be a parent, to have that struggle and that weight of the world on your shoulders. And so we've done something with it. We've got a platform. We've got an incredible message. And if we're to conquer more in life and help others, we found that one way to do that is to feed the hungry. And I was in a meeting yesterday. We've got planned out to hit 5 million meals by this June. So we're right around 4.5 million meals. But in the next few months, we will get to the 5 million meal mark. And it's been incredible because the communities come together, and it's their resource that has propelled this forward. It's, we had a thought, we had an idea, but then through an incredible product that helps change lives for the individual buying it, they also in turn, because of that resource, allow us to go out and do some good in the life of the most vulnerable around us. And our community has just rallied around it. Our team rallies around it. It's our initiative together as a team. And we will not let up until we've conquered hunger, one order, one meal, one child at a time.
That's such a great message, such a great initiative that you've been able to, again, it's part of your story, as you said, and you've brought it up a couple times here, especially as you said, it was difficult for you and your family, and then you found hunting, which immediately resonated with you because this is a way for you to feed your family. You've been in those positions before. So being able to then take what you love in helping people and inspiring others to inspire others to inspire others, right? Let's go a couple degrees out. And then finding a way that not only can you do all that, but figure out and help even more people within your community to get people even more riled up and more in love with your brand. I mean, you're doing all the right things. You're bringing so many people together, and you're helping in so many different fashions, man. So I think you built a really great brand here, Trevor. I'll give you that. From a marketing standpoint, it's a great brand. You're also doing really good things. So appreciate you for that.
Incredible team. Honestly, I'm a simple guy, and so what it takes for somebody like me is to have the right partners and the right teammates that come together. And that's one of our core values is interdependence, doing things collectively that we couldn't do on our own. So I recognize where the blessings come from and where the effort and the skill set lies. And it's within a team that really is the secret sauce of Mountain Ops, who just, they eat and breathe everything Mountain Ops and what it's about. And it's their brand. It's our brand collectively together.
That is so awesome, man. Get smart people in the room. Good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, you 5 million meals.
5 million.
So again, one more time, that's a lot of zeros. So congratulations on that. You're going to hit many, many more, it sounds like, which is awesome. Yeah. Have you been in direct contact with some of these people? I don't know really how the situation works or how the process works, but have you gotten to come face to face and have conversations with some of the people that you guys have been able to help?
We have. Most of these meals are distributed. We come together and we hold Conquer Hunger events where we actually pack the meals up. We send them out through either food pantries or food banks, and they usually end up in schools. And so a lot of elementary schools here in Utah and across the country. We just did a big event in South Carolina for one of the food banks there. We flew a team out, held a huge event, packed 50,000 meals in about an hour and a half, and then they go to the schools. So a lot of times we don't get to see the meals actually going into the backpack of a child who's going home. They typically go into their principal or their teacher's office. They know which children need them, but and then they stick it in very discreetly so the child can walk home, leave the school, and have something to eat either over the weekend or in the evenings, because a lot of them are just getting their food assistance while they're at school and then they need it at home. But we've been able to go into the homes of certain individuals and talk to some. It's an incredible thing when I'm up on stage presenting at an event like this. Before we do it, we show the video that you've just mentioned of my family. It resonates with people because a lot of people have been in a similar situation. It's not unique to me. We just have a story that we're sharing, openly now about it and what we're doing with it. And so, but I've had people, when I come off of the stage, come over to me, and they've been youth, they've been children, they've been parents at different times where they've come and said, these meals are in my home right now, or a child that says, my principal gives me these every Friday. And so we've had that ability to communicate with some of them if they come forth and tell us, but oftentimes it's happening discreetly through the schools, the teachers and the principals. And but it's incredible to be a part of that, knowing it's much more than putting food in their belly. We're inspiring hope and confidence because we're removing a distraction in these kids. They can now focus in school. They can focus at home. They can build relationships and connect and conquer. Whereas before, hunger and food was all that was on their mind, and that's something we're trying to fight and conquer, so that they can live a healthy and beautiful life without that distraction keeping them down.
That's gorgeous, man. Thank you so much for letting us in on that. I think it's so important, and I think it's incredible, again, that you guys have been able to help so many people in so many different ways through this one brand, right? Through Mountain Ops, what you guys have been able to do, what you've been able to create, you and your partners, your team, your family, your coworkers, everybody that believes that this brand is theirs. You guys are doing so much, and I am so excited. Hopefully we get you on here in a year and you're at 10 million meals. How's that sound?
Let's do it. I love it. Let's set that goal.
I love it. Yeah, let's set the goal. Hey, it's done. We got to move to it now. So, Trevor, tell me, where can everyone find a little bit more about the brand, the socials, anything that can lead people down this path to understand a little bit more about what you guys have got going on?
Yeah, just all things Mountain Ops, and that's MTNOPS.com or just MTN OPS on Instagram, Facebook. We've got an incredible community on Facebook that's a private community. Just go and ask to join. But it's a Conquer More community where there's a lot of people just supporting each other. One of the most motivating and encouraging communities there is, and there's thousands of people in there, but every day they're just encouraging each other to do a little more, conquer a little bit more in different realms of life. And so, right there, just find us through Mountain Ops, and we'd love to have you come and check us out, see what we're about, see if it resonates with you. We're confident the product can help improve your lives. We've seen it thousands and thousands of times over and over again. And so we love the message and the product that we have to share, and hope that your listeners can give us a shot. So
I hope so too, man. No, I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on, and mostly thank you so much for your time. Time's the only thing we don't get more of, so thank you for yours. I appreciate the audience for some of theirs, but everything will be in the show notes, so everyone will be able to go check that out. So thank you so much, Trevor.
It's an honor. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.